This is the Moldy Whopper. It's an unusual advertising campaign that Burger King launched in 2020 that had a lot of people wondering if their marketing team had lost their minds.
Seems like a bit of a strange marketing strategy.
It was only a matter of hours after launching before dozens of media publications had written about the campaign, creating massive awareness online. Luckily, the response to the publicity stunt was overwhelmingly positive due to the strong message that the ad was attempting to bring awareness to, that the burgers contain no preservatives. In this video, we're going to try and understand how their marketing team came up with this creative idea, why it worked, and how you can apply this technique in your own business and life. It might seem risky to promote something that people eat in such an unappetizing way, but surprisingly, this counterintuitive idea caused many Burger King customers to want it even more. They were able to achieve this by using something called inversion, which is a critical thinking technique that is helping some businesses discover creative ways to capture their audience's attention. While the industry norm is to use toothpicks, cardboard, and unedible pastes to make products look unrealistically tasty in commercials, Burger King went to the opposite extreme. The inversion technique helps marketers solve problems in an unconventional way. To use it, you simply flip the problem you're trying to solve on its head and restate it in its inverse form. Instead of thinking about how to do something, ask yourself how not to do something. For example, while most restaurants might ask, how do we make our food look appetizing? Burger King asked, how do we not make our food look appetizing? From here, you'll be able to spot things that you should avoid doing in order to achieve your goal. For example, Charlie Munger famously explained how he used inversion to become a more effective meteorologist during World War II. His job was to keep fighter pilots safe, but rather than asking, how do I keep these pilots safe, he inverted the problem and said the following.
I said, suppose I wanted to kill a lot of pilots. What would be the easy way to do it? And I soon concluded that the only easy way to do it would be to get the planes into icing the planes couldn't handle, or to get the pilot to a place where he'd run out of fuel before he could safely land. So I made up my mind I was going to stay miles away from killing pilots by either icing or getting them into sucked-in conditions when they couldn't land.
Had he only asked, how do I keep these pilots safe, he might have not considered these factors, which could have resulted in disaster. In another example, Munger uses inversion to ask what would destroy Coca-Cola. One conclusion would be to make a drastic change to the flavor of the classic formula that so many customers enjoy. Had this exercise been used, it may have prevented the company from introducing New Coke, which many regard as being one of the biggest marketing mistakes of all time, something we'll talk about in another video. The benefit of inversion is that it changes the way you think about the problem, which causes you to spot roadblocks between you and your goal. So how can this be applied to business and marketing? Well, let's say our goal is to increase our conversion rate on our sales page. A lot of advice you get online will suggest adding testimonials, having a clear call to action, and adding urgency, which are all great ideas. But by using inversion, we might ask, how could I design this page so that someone doesn't take action? And your conclusions might be having a complicated purchase process, not offering a payment method they're likely to use, or causing the page to load slowly. Solutions you might have been less likely to consider, or maybe not even at all, without using this inversion method. The way Burger King uses inversion is a little bit different though. With the standard inversion model, you would identify that serving moldy burgers is one way to make your food look not appetizing. As a result, you would avoid serving moldy burgers. But that's not very useful for brainstorming interesting and creative marketing ideas. What they did instead was use inversion to find a counterintuitive and unique way to position their product. And that's the key here. And because they were doing something that their competitors would typically avoid doing, it creates an opportunity for them to deploy something into the marketplace that's so unusual that people can't help but talk about it. So here's how you do it. Number one is they identified a goal of having their burgers appear appetizing to customers. Number two, they used inversion to determine what would make them seem not appetizing and something that they should avoid doing in order to achieve that goal. The conclusions might have been moldy burgers, a change in color, or a drastic change in the flavor of the burger. Number three is to determine what causes these undesirable things to happen. So mold is caused by not having enough preservatives in the food. The change in color might be because they're using ingredients sourced from local farms instead of from a lab. And the flavor change might be because they started adding less salt. Number four is they use that as ammunition to communicate a strong message about that cause. In this case, Burger King turns a possible weakness, that their burgers are more susceptible to mold because they don't have preservatives into a strength by demonstrating that that's what should naturally occur with all good food. It's also a subtle jab at their competitors who are still using preservatives. So let's try this method out with a company that makes soap. So number one, our goal is to increase trust in our product among health-conscious customers. Number two, we're going to use inversion and think about how not to increase trust in our product. One conclusion might be to use potentially harmful chemicals in our soap product. Number three, we want to think about the causes or examples of this inverted conclusion. In this case, we're going to think about potentially harmful chemicals that are used in our competitors' products but not our products. One of those being titanium dioxide, which is what gives soap its very bright white color, as I understand it. Number four, we're going to use that as ammunition to create powerful messaging. So what we might do is create a visual showing a bunch of the competing soap brands that use this ingredient and compare its color to our product's color, which clearly looks different. So this could make for a powerful message that will create curiosity to learn more. And it will also serve as an effective visual cue when people see bright white bars of soap next time they're shopping. You could also think about other industries that might be trying to illustrate a similar message and see if you can repurpose that idea for your own marketing. For example, Crest White Strips created a campaign called the Tissue Test to raise awareness for yellowing teeth. By holding tissue paper up to your teeth, you can gauge how white or yellow your teeth are. So this same idea could be applied here to compare how white our soap is, demonstrating that it doesn't contain these harmful chemicals.
Burger King used inversion to spot a very creative and interesting marketing idea, but that's not always the case. In fact, most of the time inversion is used to spot very obvious ideas that would otherwise be overlooked. The main benefit of this technique is to get you to think about your problem in a little bit of a different way so that you can come up with better ideas or different ideas. To apply this technique more easily to your business, I've created an inversion worksheet to get you started. You can download that below right after you like this video. If you like this video, I think you're really going to enjoy the video I did on Monday.com, where I take a look at the marketing strategy they used to grow to over $1 billion in just a few years. It's one of my personal favorite videos that I've created on this channel. So I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you in that Monday.com video.